pizza place pranks from Chief Kickovich of the Slap-A-Hoe Nation. When Charlie and I were kids for a long time after, there was a pizza place and restaurant called Danny's Espresso. My parents' phone number was only one number different from theirs, so we got a lot of wrong number calls. It went on for years before my mother lost patience after hanging up on an obnoxious drunk. She called Danny's to complain about their idiot customers. My mother was ordinarily very reasonable, kind, and soft-spoken. Christianity was more than a fashionable dress to be put on to impress other church ladies. The only danger she was prone to was of the righteous variety. No, the only anger she was prone to was of the righteous variety, but she was still prone to female logic from time to time. When she asked them, what she asked them to do was to change their phone number. The manager answered that if she didn't like it, she should change hers. That annoyed my mother, so she said something like, "We had ours longer, so we're not changing." I understood his viewpoint immediately. Why should they have to change their number? No matter what number they got, their customers would most likely misdial it, so someone would be getting wrong number calls meant for them no matter what their number was. There would be no upside for the restaurant and plenty of downside. Changing their number would annoy a certain percentage of their takeout customers. Most wrong numbers were during evening hours, especially on Friday and Saturday when people had been drinking. Considering the number of intoxicated people calling for pizza, more than one person's number would be one number off and called by mistake. It was the manager's rudeness that irked my mom, and she vented as soon as the guy hung up on her. What were two 14-year-old assholes answering a wrong number call for pizza to do? A week later, that question would be answered. After taking the first order, the guy asked me to read it back to him, but all I remembered was that he wanted one made Alfredo style. He was nasty about it, a real shit. So I started swearing at him. I told him that I'm not paid enough to put up with abuse from a shithead like him, and finished by telling him that if he didn't like it, he could suck my dick and use my cum for Alfredo sauce to make his own pizza. So I hung up. He called back almost immediately. Before Charlie answered, he said, "I have a great idea. Are you hungry?" I nodded and said, I have room for more. He picked up the phone and said, "Danny's Espresso, Danny speaking." And the guy reamed him out over his employees. When he calmed down enough to tell him what happened after Charlie apologized over and over, Charlie said, "So that's why he quit and walked out. I was wondering what that was about. How can I help you, sir?" After taking the order for 6 large pizzas with different toppings and reading it back flawlessly, he told the guy it was a busy evening and his order would be half price and available for pickup in 35 minutes.
Oh, God.
We thought that what we did was a unique and original idea until we learned over the years that we weren't the only ones who had this problem, nor were we the only ones who solved it the way we did. Upon reflection, we understood that this happened in every city where there was a pizza place. Who do you call when you've had a few drinks or got stoned on a weekend night and you were hungry? Folks like that are prone to make mistakes dialing the phone. They have 7 places to make mistakes dialing.
Yep.
My parents were out, so we didn't have to explain what we were up to. Charlie grabbed my tape recorder and off we went. We pedaled there in 7 minutes, locked our bikes, and went inside to have a seat in the booth closest to the counter.
Nice.
We ordered lasagna and Cokes, which were still made with cane sugar.
Nice. Okay.
Halfway through our meal, the show began, and it was great. A guy came in who was your stereotypical middle-aged fat wop. He waddled up to pick up a stained wife beater. He waddled to pick up a stained wife beater, lifted his muffin top onto
Cowboy Special?
Damn.
It had to be our guy. It couldn't possibly be anyone else. Before he said a word, Charlie hit play and record and angled that microphone under his shirt so it pointed toward the counter.
Nice.
He gave his name and said he was there for his order. Big surprise. No one knew anything about it. It escalated slowly, but steadily. He went back and forth with the young woman cashier for a few rounds. She kept saying that they received no such order, and he kept insisting that she was either stupid or lying. He even called it in a second time. After he tried to order from the first time, told him to suck his dick. It got so heated that the busboys, dishwashers, and the pizza thrower came to the front to literally toss him out the front door.
Nice.
Charlie and I were snorting as we stifled laughter while the drama unfolded and ended up laughing openly with most of the other diners. One table started clapping as they hustled him out the door and everyone joined in. We finished up within a couple of minutes after that, paid our check, and left a 50% tip before wishing our waitress a good evening. On the way back to Charlie's, we split a skin of communion wine while playing and replaying the tape we made. It was even funnier than when it happened because we were alone and not afraid of being found out.
Okay.
One thing we decided that night was that we had to get a better microphone for the next time. We continued, but were selective in who we pranked. We would not take orders from anyone whose voice we didn't recognize or if we heard kids in the background. In order for us to recognize them, they had to have called at least once already. We could give rude and or drunken assholes a half-hour pickup time to give us time to get there and be seated in time for the show to start during our meal. Once things got so far out of hand that we thought a guy was going to assault the kid behind the counter. He got halfway over the counter before the dishwashers and bussers helped him down and out to the pavement, flat on his ass to the pavement. By this time, we thought management would have figured out that someone was sick of wrong numbers and was retaliating, but not yet.
Okay.
After that day, because we didn't want to get the counter help injured or worse, we enlisted Leonid Vitkovsky to help us out. We had him stay home and wait by his phone while we ate and brought him a takeout order of lasagna for his help. When things started getting dicey for the employee, one of us would go to the payphone near the restrooms to ring Leo's phone twice and then hurry back to our table. Leo would call the house phone to ask if someone was asking for an order that was never placed and they should put him on. When the irate customer got on, Leo would tell him that he had not been a rude asshole, that had he not been a rude asshole, he would have told him that he had the wrong number instead of taking his order.
Nice.
By the end of the first week, from Friday until Saturday night, we started answering the phone, Danny's Espresso, and recording the call. We wanted our record of the drama to be complete from beginning to end.
Dude, that's awesome.
A month and a half in, we got the call that resulted in the funniest and craziest one of them all when a fat, ignorant black woman, a real battle hog, called.
Battle hog. Gotta put that in the book.
Battle hog. I refer to those as ghetto queens.
Yeah.
Ghetto queen. Right.
We could tell she was fat by her breathing audible 2 feet away from the receiver and the urban accent that gave her away. She wanted 5 large double cheese, double sausage pizzas. I started off by jerking her chain when I told her it would be 40 minutes. She complained and would not accept my apology from being so busy until I promised that her order would absolutely be ready at half price without fail when she arrived.
Oh, my God.
As we were leaving, we got 2 more calls back to back from people deserving of our attention, so we took those orders as well. We told one his order would be ready in 20 minutes and told another a half hour. As we were attempting to leave for the second time, the phone rang again. I greeted the caller with Danny's Espresso out of habit. When she tried to order, I said, "We're closed."
Nice.
The first warm-up act arrived a few minutes early and spent a few minutes arguing that he knew he dialed the right number because the kid answered with Danny's Espresso.
Nice.
He soon accepted the counterwoman's assurance that she was the only one answering the phone that evening. In between answering a few calls, while she explained that some kid was taking orders from wrong number callers. The manager offered to make his order at no charge to thank him for his patience. That's when our waiter came back to ask if we were ready to order. Naturally, Charlie had to ask what just happened at the front counter. He got an earful about some kid taking orders when customers call their house by mistake and how much everyone who worked there would like to strangle the asshole. We both made sympathetic noises. Neither of us wished him luck. The next act kicked off while we ordered, and this guy was a total loon who took some convincing. He, too, knew that he had dialed the right number. He could not be persuaded otherwise. Finally, he took his wallet out, removed a photo, and said that Mary Astor was there and she heard him make a call. Then he showed her the photo and told her she could ask Mary herself. I looked at Charlie, saw the dumbfounded look on his face, and said, "Yeah, I heard it too." We were both flabbergasted. The manager offered to make his order free if he would wait in his car for it to be brought out to him. After my psych rotation at nursing school, I thought of him. I think that poor guy was likely schizophrenic.
Oh, no.
During our 5-minute bike ride there, we made bets on how fat and dark the first caller was. We were about halfway through our sausage calzones when she rolled in. I don't mean that her car rolled into the lot. I mean she rolled in. Charlie underestimated fatness, but I guessed right on blackness, so even had we put muddy on it, none would have changed hands. She was very, very fat and very...
So firefighter's wife?
So
I'm just asking. I'm just asking. She's a firefighter's wife?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know. That's a gravity bender right there.
That is a gravity bender.
I'm just assuming she's a hydrant humper's wife.
Maybe.
Like, I don't know. I mean, second responder's wife, whatever.
We'll find out. She waited for a departing customer to push his side of the double doors open before she pulled her side open, allowing her to enter without having to squeeze in. Her afro was big hair even by 1973 standards, and her ass stuck out so far in back that if she stood still, you could still set 2 full beer steins on top of it without losing a drop. Wow. The third act
So
was
she's gravitationally challenged?
very much so.
Mhm.
This third act was off to a promising beginning. She lurched up to the front counter. Up close, she looked to be at least 350 pounds, maybe 400. Her skin was carbon black. She had a gap between her upper incisors, and after pausing to catch her breath, she loudly proclaimed, "Eyes are starving. My order better be ready."
Oh,
Charlie
no.
blurted out, "She's starving?" I responded with, "Hey, hey, hey." It was a good thing the booths were of the high back variety. Even though the battle hog heard what we said, she couldn't identify the source. I whispered, "We know how she got that big. I bet she eats all 5 by herself."
Oh, my God. Yeah.
We both snickered before the woman at the pickup counter asked for her name. She gave it, and the lady said she didn't see it and asked if it was placed under another name. "My order better fucking be here, you skinny little honky bitch. If it ain't, I's gonna sit on you." That's when Charlie said to me, "I better call Leo. This is going to get out of hand real quick if we don't act now."
Yeah.
I waved him down and told him to wait a bit since she'd never make it over the counter. When she started screaming, "I's a fucking starving to death. Feed me."
Oh, my God.
I got up to make the call. His red
Oh,
t-shirt was too noticeable, and I was too paranoid about someone noticing how quickly he returned after getting up. I needn't have worried. All attention was focused elsewhere. Took about 10 seconds to dial a call back because then the touchstone had not yet been invented. I wanted to let that scene play out, but perhaps Charlie was right. The phone started ringing a few seconds after I got back to my seat while the bull gang from the kitchen and dish room was about to hit DEFCON 1.
Oh, God.
The girl recognized Leo's
Jesus
voice
Christ.
and didn't even wait to hear his spiel before he said, "I'll put her on." And to her, "Phone call for you." She was so surprised her next threat was stillborn in her throat. While all that was going on, Charlie and I were sitting there shoveling in calzones, drinking from the water glasses we refilled from our wineskins after we emptied them into the plastic potted plants. We sat there expecting the call to end, but there was more. The bitch was screaming into the phone, "If I find out who you is and where you is, you fucking asshole, I'm gonna punch your motherfucking lights out." That was followed by, "Oh yeah? Where do you live, Paulie Damicus?" Which was followed by, "You stay right there. I's on my way." Damn it, what the fuck did Leo do?
Oh, no.
I knew
Fuck,
Paulie.
fuck.
We knew Paulie.
I know what this call is. Fuck.
Yeah, the name of this call is fuck. We knew Paulie, and he was an asshole, but not that much of an asshole.
Yeah.
At least we thought not, but apparently Leo had a different opinion. What we didn't know until we gave Leo his lasagna was that Paulie was Leo's nemesis, and he had recently destroyed the back wheel of Leo's brand new $300 12-speed top-of-the-line Kabuki racing cycle.
Ooh.
That was $300 in 1972 money. So you're talking probably at least
1,200
more now, yeah.
1,200 now.
It took him a year to save up enough to buy it a year earlier. Paulie put his foot through the spokes and wrecked the sprockets. Leo couldn't prove it, but he knew Paulie did it and swore he would have revenge. What Paulie did was the kid equivalent of destroying the transmission of a luxury automobile. Paulie wasn't home when she got there, and luckily neither was anyone else. A few days later, we just happened to run into Paulie, who told us a strange story. Neighbors who witnessed the incident reported that a fat black woman got out of a beat-up old Mercury and started ringing the bell and pounding on the door. When no one answered, she grabbed 2 of the flower pots off their front sidewalk and threw them through their front picture window before driving off.
Oh I mean, I'm going to stop that right there because, if this was Rollins, it'd be a fat black or fat Mexican woman.
Damn.
So, this is a common theme in law enforcement.
Oh, I bet.
Oh,
Leo was disappointed. Apparently, that's all that happened. He says, "We gave it a rest for a couple of months after that because we're too busy picking up discarded antiques Yale kids were tossing, but continued to eat there once every week. It was our way of avoiding suspicion. We wanted the owners and employees to see us there when nothing eventful happened. If we started showing up again only when pranks resumed, someone might have tumbled to it that we were the ones that they all wanted to kill." A couple months later, after we resumed, the wrong number calls petered out and finally ended. We had fucked over all of the worst offenders, and they were either blacklisted and had to get their pizza elsewhere, or they started paying attention to what they were dialing.
Nice.
Hot damn.
Dude, that's awesome.
You kids were evil.
I love.
Geniuses.
So I'm going to say this right now. I love Chief kick a bitch stories because
Oh, yeah. This dude's
his
gonna ride a
story that motherfucker needs to ride a buck because
buck. Absolutely.
some of his stories will trigger memories of mine from
Mhm.
high school, law enforcement.
I think everybody
Fucking-
can listen to these and
Yeah,
think
I
of something
gotcha.
from their childhood.
The dude is the shit.
He is. He is the shit.
Watch Grunt Speak live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to join Pop for Supporters Sundays, go to redonkulous.com/donate and make a monthly pledge. A link is in the Meat Gazer box.